Nathan, I have this weird feeling.
Okay, what do you mean?
I don't know. I feel just kind of odd, kind of a little sweaty. I guess this weird feeling. I feel like someone's watching me.
Wait a second. That's what we watched this week.
Oh, that must be it. Right. We watched John Carpenter's 1978 made-for-TV movie. Hey, someone's watching me.
That's right. From 1978, you said already, right?
I did. Oh, I couldn't wait to say it.
Oh, by the way, before we get deep into this, we have a sponsor.
Oh, yeah?
We have our first sponsor.
Okay.
Did you know this?
No.
I didn't tell you, so how could you know?
This is how most podcasts do it, right? They do their sponsors right up front.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, great.
Yeah. So it's the Halloween season. And, why don't you tell me... what's your favorite Halloween candy?
My favorite Halloween candy. Let's see. I love anything by Brax. I love a good Swedish fish. Boy, what if I heard somebody disgustingly chewing with their mouth open into a microphone? I could probably think of what my.
But what do you think is? What do you think is the best?
Oh God,
the best
swallow
Halloween candy.
So disgusting. The best Halloween candy. I don't know. I was always happy when I got a Snickers or a Twix.
Okay, I'll give you a clue.
Okay, yeah. You tell me what my favorite thing is. It's brown.
It's brown and chewy.
Okay. Charleston Chew.
No, that's white, isn't it?
Not well in the middle. The outside is as brown as can be.
Brown.
What else is brown and chewy? Not a sugar daddy. That is
it's in a roll shape.
Tootsie Rolls?
Yes! Yes, this week's episode brought to you by Tootsie Rolls. Happy Halloween, everybody.
Oh my
That was better than my guess, which was skull.
Oh my God. Oh, this is how it starts.
Yeah, I know.
Are you wait? Are you eating one now? Do I need to ask? Is that what you're eating?
I couldn't find one. I'm eating Airheads.
Oh, so they haven't sent you any yet?
No.
Okay.
No. I'm still sorry.
Oh, please!
I just wanted to do
I'm begging you to swallow.
I just wanted to do an eating candy bit.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
I had no. At first, I thought. Excuse me. At first, I thought, oh, he's gonna say Tootsie Roll right out of the gate.
No.
And this thing immediately ends. I had no idea that you'd go to Charleston Chew.
I guess when somebody says, "What's your favorite candy?" I don't know who in the world would say Tootsie Roll first. I mean, I realize you were doing a bit,
of course, that's
but
the worst one.
Yeah,
Tootsie Roll's the thing at the very bottom of the bag.
It's down there with the pennies and the Christian pamphlets.
Mm-hmm. And the razored apples.
You know, the worst part about getting the Tootsie Rolls is if they somehow got the fruit flavored Tootsie Rolls, like didn't even have the dignity of being chocolate. They were those weird.
You're wrong.
Oh, okay. Wow. I was wrong about what my favorite candy was, and I'm wrong about those being bad.
Those are actually the only good Tootsie Rolls.
What?
Because they don't taste like Tootsie Roll.
No, they taste like some other disgusting thing. But with
chocolate should not be in any form other than its original form.
I'm trying to think of things that
which is chocolate
enjoy that would counter that. So you don't
like
mean
Yoo-hoo?
No. You like Yoo-hoo?
No, I hate Yoo-hoo.
Oh, do you like chocolate ice cream?
Yeah, but that's chocolate in it.
Yeah, but Yoo-hoo has chocolate in it.
Yoo-hoo's brown water.
It's
Pond water.
It's still chocolate. There's no milk. It's whey.
There's no cacao in there.
There is no cacao. You're right. Because Yoo-hoos are one of the only things that the vegan kids at high school would get out of the vending machine.
Oh, they're vegan?
They're vegan, yeah, because it's whey.
How come it doesn't say that on the bottle?
You want that little elf on the Yoo-hoo bottle to have a straight edge tattoo?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know. Write them. This could be big for them. I haven't seen a good Yoo-hoo push in a long time.
I want him to have like both arms tattoo sleeves.
I agree with that. And of course, with all this candy talk, you of course are listening to Network Special, the podcast all about the golden age of appointment-based television, which is an era where you had to watch what was on TV when it was on. There was no second chances. But now, thanks to the magic of the internet, we can watch these TV specials again and again. My name is Zachariah, and I'm here with my co-host,
Nathan Tootsie Roll Shear.
And the Candyman himself, our beloved producer in the booth,
Jeremy Demery. Hey.
There he is, the Candyman can.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, and it is the Halloween season. So happy early Halloween to you, Nathan.
Yeah.
We are still in the Halloween season, right? Is this dropping? Am I getting this date wrong?
I
can't do it.
I did not. No. I actually, you know what? Now that I think about it, this may even be like Thanksgiving where this goes out.
This won't. No, this won't be Thanksgiving. I will see to that. We are not dropping this on Thanksgiving.
I'll make sure I bump it up then. I'll bump it up.
Yeah, you bump it up. Because I have, let's not say it, but I have a very specific need for what Thanksgiving is going to be. What is the thing that I am annoyingly obsessed with? What? You'll remember whenever I tell you. Actually, Jeremy, can you bleep this out?
Wait, Dick Tracy? You can't bleep that out now.
Okay, well, bleep this out.
Oh, duh. Yeah. Okay.
Yes. Okay. And we're back. No, but let's pretend like we're still in the Halloween season. We're talking Tootsie Rolls. We're talking Charleston Chews. And of course, we're watching a John Carpenter movie. John Carpenter, the same year that he made the movie Halloween, one of the most famous horror movies of all time, one of the most profitable independent movies of all time. He made this movie for NBC, Someone's Watching Me, which he wrote and directed, but it was released directly after the theatrical release of Halloween. And boy, oh boy, did NBC luck out with that, having the most popular movie in theaters, and now they're dropping this TV movie that he happened to direct. And it was released in November, which is very odd. They didn't release this horror movie in October.
Yeah, well, I think that's in the grand tradition of these Sunday or like weeknight or weekday movies where they just unloaded horror, fare across any time of the year.
Yeah. Now we can give a synopsis, but why should I do it with my stumbling words when we can listen to the promo that played in 1978 on NBC? And here it is.
1 week from tonight, she's young, beautiful, successful, and has everything to live for. But someone wants her dead.
Hello?
I'll find you. I don't give up.
Lauren Hutton, David Burney, and Adrienne Barbeau star in a chilling tale of suspense and terror. A twisted maniac is at large. Can he be stopped before it's too late? Someone's Watching Me next Wednesday on NBC.
Ooh.
Zoink, Scoob.
Chilling.
That's Casey Kasem, right? As the narrator, the voiceover there.
Oh, is it? Is he doing his serious voice?
Play it again a little bit. Yeah, play it a little bit.
Maniac is at large. Can he be stopped before it's too late? Someone's watching next Wednesday on NBC.
Shaggy.
Oh, he's toning it down. He's getting mysterious. Okay. Wow.
Yeah.
Casey, man of basically one voice, but he can make it go up and down.
Yeah. Yeah. Bummer about this movie though, because I feel like, I don't know if this is true of every single John Carpenter film, but I feel like this film misses out by not having him do the soundtrack.
Oof, boy, big agreement here. We have some real just generic late 70s music library type of things. Even that little sting that we heard there, I don't even think that good of a music piece is in this.
yeah, that's definitely commercial work.
This is a movie that apparently is based on a true story, and I read that on Wikipedia, and there is no connecting article linked to it. So thank you so much to whoever dropped that on Wikipedia. I'd like to know what the actual true life version of this is. The basic idea for this movie is a young woman moves into a new high-rise apartment. There's another high-rise apartment across the street, and there is a mysterious creep with a telescope who is spying on her and is intent on driving her mad by calling her constantly, sending creepy things to her, making her feel watched at all times, without ever going into overtly criminal activities that she can get the police on her side, at least at first. So that's what we're doing. It's a woman in peril. It's voyeuristic, and it stars Lauren Hutton, who is a very famous fashion model, and this is kind of one of her first acting roles. And she's fine.
She's doing fine until she has to show emotion. Anything other than like laughter, she's having a hard time.
Part of it isn't her fault. I really try to think about the fairness of a script that somebody gets and how I judge their performance, because Lauren Hutton has the thing. It's kind of like what we saw in Trilogy of Terror, where Karen Black is by herself in the apartment, and they don't want her silent the entire time, so they have her kind of talking to herself a little bit. I get why you have to do that a little, and Lauren Hutton is in her apartment, and she spends a lot of time by herself getting freaked out.
Yeah. And like singing, like sing-songy, like doing kind of bits to herself.
Well, here's the thing. I can buy that when you live by yourself, which I do, you will occasionally, say little comments to yourself, or maybe if you get scared by something or you're having a big moment, you will talk to yourself to kind of ground yourself a little bit. What I don't think you do is walk around giving your life story to nobody. When she's in the beginning scene of the film, she's going in for a job interview later that day. And so she's pretending to talk to her interviewer, but it's like, that's right, sir. My name is Karen Lippenstitz, and I went to this high school. Where did you go? Oh, that's interesting. Yes, I do enjoy many hobbies. And she's just giving us the life story. And it's that way kind of through the whole movie, unless she's, breaking down.
Yeah, she's like rehearsing for this job pass, and it's like, but
constantly, even after she got the job, she's doing it.
Yeah, but she's walking around the house and she's going like, oh, don't do, like doing that kind of like that is to herself.
My favorite, where they can't pay for a song for the person to sing, so they have to go tum ti dum tum ta 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 tu ta ti tu ta like a crazy person.
And she says that she's like, Lee shouldn't get scared about things. I actually don't care about that, because I do that stuff to myself. And I'm doing bits to myself all the time. And so I did it today, actually, in the elevator. I have to be back at work. And they have only two people at a time are allowed in the elevator. And they have these two spots where you're supposed to stand.
Yeah.
And one of them, like the dot, like your feet are facing forward. like they show the footprint like a dance map, you know?
Yeah. Right.
And,
Do the safety shuffle. Yeah.
Yeah. And like the one is in the back corner, and so you just stiff forward. But the other one is right by the buttons, but it is so close to the buttons that if you put your feet on it, your face is touching the buttons. So I'm like pretending like it's like I'm standing in the thing. I'm like, I'm being safe. Of course, to no one. No one's laughing. No one's singing except myself. And my
right. And our
the
listeners
crowd that's in my head.
Our listeners didn't see your bit either.
No, but they could certainly hear me going. Right.
They did hear that.
It was felt too. I felt it.
Thank you.
Lauren Hutton, man, she describes herself as having a unique sense of humor, but I would call that sense of humor just telling lies.
I know. Just making up stories and then saying, just kidding.
She's looking at this apartment and this poor guy who's just trying to show an apartment. He's not hitting on her or anything. It's like, oh, okay, so this is the apartment. And she goes, oh, well, my mother-in-law my mother will like this. And he goes, oh, your mother. And he goes, yeah, she's engaged to an aluminum siding guy, and she's having second thoughts about marrying him. He goes, oh, okay. And she goes, I'm just kidding. Like, well, what?
That is the person who thinks I'm just kidding is a punchline. Like that's the most insufferable person in the world.
Yeah.
Because they get mad at you when you don't laugh.
Yes. Or they just do it to make a fool of you.
Yes.
That's like actually more the thing I run into with those people.
Yeah. Yes. Where I'll you'll be at work, you're like, hey, can I borrow that staple? They're like, no, just kidding. And you're like, okay,
you got me good.
A range of emotions here. I'm like, I don't even know what I'm supposed to be laughing at. Like, what's the joke in saying no? I guess it's just opposite day or something. I don't know what's funny. And then I remember at work one time, it made me so mad because then people were asking you about your life, and at the time I was doing comedy, and so they're like, oh yeah, I'm doing stand up. They're like, you're not funny, you don't laugh at anything. And then I just started saying, well, what does that tell you?
Did they give you a double take?
Yeah, they each everyone in a row spit their milk out.
Well, I guess that makes it. Hey. Lauren Hutton goes to interview to be a television director, meaning like a live feed television director at a network. And she goes in, and apparently your job
interview. Is it the news?
She's doing a cooking show, a live cooking show, because apparently the job interview is they throw you in the control room and they tell you to direct a live television program that's going on in 12 seconds.
Man, I love the job market in this world. Because I'm looking so hard right now for a job, and I would just love for them to be like, okay, the interview is do this job. And then if you do it, then you get the job.
Do it in front of me. It's due now.
Yeah. I'm happy to do that. That's so much easier than all this other crap I'm having to do.
But I mean, doing a live television presentation as your immediate job interview is like saying, we're an ad company and we have a big pitch to a major soap corporation. They're in that room. Please go sell our ad campaign.
Well, we just roped the Tootsie Roll account. Nathan, I need you to go in there and improvise a radio commercial.
Alistair Roll, son of Phineas Roll, is in there.
Did I get the job, Zachariah?
Yeah. Because you went in there and you said, what do we know about Tootsie Rolls? Chocolatey, chewy, and then you crossed out the word chocolatey.
Brown.
And you wrote the word fruity on it. And he goes, but are they?
No.
That was the story of your first job. That's how we got flavored Tootsie
Word
Rolls.
for word.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes, word for word. We meet her new co-workers, Sophie, who is played by Adrienne Barbeau, who became John Carpenter's wife after this movie where they met each other. And Granger Hines, who I don't know from other stuff, but it's Steve.
Yeah.
Maybe my favorite character in this show, Steve, classic horn dog.
Yes. Definitely one of my top 10 kinds of people.
Hey, Jeremy, get on the mic for a second.
Got it.
I'm going to pretend that you and I just met on the job. I will repeat. We are on a job site, and we have just met. And I'm going to.
Well, it's a good thing I wore my hard hat today.
I'm going to talk to you the way that Steve immediately talks to Lauren Hutton in this movie.
Okay.
Hey, Jeremy, what's up? Hey, you want to go get dinner?
Sure. Dinner sounds nice.
Oh, wow, that was easy. I guess what I learned from
really
there.
Easy.
Yeah, I just learned
Well,
that.
now I feel like a floozy.
I guess
Just my time.
I just learned that if you want to ask Jeremy out on a date, it's very easy.
So easy. He's so easy. And he's committed.
I mean, you got to eat, right?
He's betrothed.
A meal's a meal. Steve immediately is just going, hey, what do you say you and I go get dinner? Oh, no, thanks. Why not? Poor Steve.
Can we talk about Sophie's character, who is in the first, I don't know, 5 minutes?
What, is there a dimension to her character that you'd like to get into?
Yeah. She's revealed to be a lesbian.
Right.
Yeah. In 1978, on a network show. What network is this?
NBC.
NBC.
Yeah.
And it's just glossed over, like, that's cool, whatever, dude.
Yeah.
And then they move on.
Yes. I was waiting for like a plot point having to deal with, like, she says, like, oh, well, she goes, she doesn't say I'm a lesbian, but she says, oh, my ex. And Barbeau goes, oh, well, what was he like? And she goes, oh, she. But it's not. It's just introduced, and that's that. And John Carpenter wrote this, so I don't know if he was trying to normalize something or I don't know. I guess I haven't seen anything from the 70s talking about gay relations that isn't a Three's Company or Soap level.
Right. Well, do you think? Can we? Well, she says, what was he like? And she says, it's a she. And then the girl gives her a look. Lauren Hutton gives her a look. And then she says, oh, don't worry, you're not my type. I'm like, who's her type? Who's her freaking type?
Well, then she says, just kidding. And then she looks at it and goes, yumma, yumma, yumma.
Anyways, what were we doing? And it's never mentioned again.
It isn't. Well, can I tell you what I thought was going to be the twist? Is so the idea of this movie is that Lauren Hutton's being harassed by somebody, and you don't see his face. Mm-hmm. And my thought was, oh God, is it going to be Sophie? Is the person across the street with like a voice modulator, and it's going to be this crazy lesbian?
No, that's
killer.
That's her real voice.
Yeah.
Hey, babe. Yeah, I was thinking, like, there were multiple times where I kept thinking, like, oh, everyone's in on this. Like, I was just like, okay, what's the bad twist going to be? But I was, surprised to see that I was happy to see that there really wasn't a twist to it. It was just a normal situation.
Yeah, there is. I mean, I guess we could just say it right now. Like, she's harassed by somebody, and like you, the whole time. It's a pretty small cast, and there's a couple characters who just like come and go for 1 second. There's a guy she turns down at the bar. There's a weird like drifter who kind of goes by her car and is drunk and yelling at her. And so I kept going like, okay.
The security guard.
Yes. Like, okay, who is it going to be? Who is this dumb reveal going to be? And it's not going to make sense. It's just a random guy who we haven't met.
Like a government worker or something.
Yeah, but it's not like we haven't seen him in the shadows. It's just a creep, which is very John Carpenter. Like, that's how Halloween works. I mean, at least in the first movie, there's no reason Michael Myers kills people. He is just an evil person who needs to be taken care of. Or like in The Thing.
Loved. He needs to be loved.
Yeah, he needs the power of love. Well, in the Thing, you've seen The Thing, right? With okay, so the alien in The Thing doesn't have a motivation. It just starts killing people, and they need to kill it. Yeah,
it's instinct. Yeah, and at one point I was like, oh no, is this really just an illusion in her mind?
Oh God!
And she's like gonna kill herself or something, you know? Like I was like, oh no, this is the. I was like, has that been done yet in the 70s? like when, you know? I was just trying to think, like, is this gonna be it?
I'm sure it was all in her mind. It has to be a Twilight Zone episode at least.
Yeah.
Because we left out that the very first scenes of the film is the stalker calling a different woman who lives in the same apartment, who drives her to throw herself out her window.
Yeah.
And
and then ultimately in the end he tries to set her up the exact same way.
Yes. He starts haranguing her more.
That's his MO.
She can't get people to believe her. He sends her. She starts getting these packages from Excursions Unlimited, and she gets a telescope and a swimsuit and all this odd stuff delivered to her house, as a way to kind of like get through to her and for him to affect her world. There's a very interesting. The only shot that really worked in terms of creeping me out is after her first big day at work where she wrecks a television show.
Yes.
She goes back home to her brand new apartment and her door is unlocked and partially open.
Yeah.
And instead of turning around and going downstairs and telling her doorman or somebody what happened, she goes in the apartment, shuts the door behind her and goes, "Mr. Burglar, I'm here," and starts looking around. And then she sees that somebody installed a telephone. She walks to the telephone and she makes a call. And then you see a man in black and a black mask just dart across the back of the screen and leave the apartment in a nice scare moment. It was well done.
Yeah, that was awesome. That was my favorite part of the movie.
But then she hears the door slam and then she goes, must be ghosts. She's a little too blasé about all of this up until the last 15 minutes. Well, she's a strong woman.
Like, that's the angle,
yeah, I think something about, and this really does get into the idea of why made-for-TV movie was such a slander term for a long time.
Oh, yeah.
Because watching this, I was thinking, if this film was better shot, like more carefully lit and a little bit more atmosphere, and you had an actor
and a better soundtrack,
yeah, that always helps horror, and a lead actor who can just play a little more interiority than Lauren Hutton can.
Yeah, this
would probably be, a solid little paranoia thriller. Instead, it just kind of looks like a very tense episode of Dallas.
Yes, a long episode of a show. Like a long version of Alfred Hitchcock Presents or something,
right.
You know? And the thing that I'm starting to is starting to wear on me watching all of these shows, like where you get to you see the pattern, right? Where it's like, and with Duel they did it, Spielberg did it, but it worked well because I feel like even though there was a lot of repeat situations, it was done in a way that the tension was always heightened. You know, like it always felt like it was building. Like I feel like this and a lot of them that are not well made. It's like okay, the first scene is like, oh, she gets this letter, and oh, it's this, what's this kooky letter? Then the next scene she gets a package, and then she gets another package, and it's the same. Nothing like the stuff that happens to her is not any like scarier than the first thing that she got. It's just that she's reacting more strongly to the same stuff, and that's not the way you do this, I don't think. You know, I think like there should have been more, like maybe like something hurts her or something. I don't want to, it's maybe like she sees him again, or like there's more like building on this because then I'm just waiting for the end. I'm like, just get to the end, and this movie felt so long because I was like, I know I want to see who it is. And I don't know if there's a twist or if it's just a thing or if she dies at the end or whatever. So just get there. I don't need to see 30 letters being mailed to her house in 30 different scenes. You know?
I think part of it is her character never develops into anything. She gets more scared, but there's nothing revealed about her. She gets like a boyfriend. Through part of this, she goes to a bar and meets some guy, and he figures in that really that plot just eats up time. It's not necessary.
He becomes the person who figures it all out because he's like a psychiatrist or something.
But that would have been more interesting if Sophie had done that.
Oh, I agree.
You don't need his character. Like, you have a best friend character already. And even like Lunkhead Steve, there's two things you need to do with Steve. You either need to have him be an annoying idiot, but he somehow helps, maybe even in spite of himself or because he likes her. And maybe it gets him killed or gets him hurt. Like, and Sophie is the best friend, but really she just is kind of like the wisecracking lesbian. She needs to kind of like be the Nancy Drew character who breaks through. It's more tense if Sophie figures out whose apartment it is and goes in and is attacked, and Hutton hears her. Like, that's
right. It's more interesting if she's the one getting into danger, whereas Hutton's like the strong one. And the fact that she gets so brave at the end, which it was nice that she starts to regain the power, but also it takes away from me feeling sorry for her in the sense that she's not scared as much, and so I'm not like on this ride with her anymore.
And I think you're right, a lot of it is music, because if you take the music, there's a million YouTube videos where if you replace the music with something else, all the tension goes out of a scene. But also the camera work is just so flat. Like, you'd think all the cameras were screwed to the ground. And if you have a person who's getting increasingly paranoid, if I'm just looking at you like I'm sitting on the couch across from you, that doesn't get the idea of panic or breakdown. It's how I've always seen you. What you need to buy is a fisheye lens.
I think that's why that one scene was my favorite, because I think before you see the guy jump out, the first thing, she's on the phone and she's by her window, and we already know that there's someone looking at her through a telescope, right? So they pan, like you see like the entire like other tower, and it slowly, it looks like it's zooming out. It looks like you're supposed to see the person in the telescope, and then when they pull back, they pan past her, and then you see the person run by.
Yeah,
and it was like this like total misdirect. If I don't remember if I'm combining two scenes, but I think that's how it was set up, because I was thinking like, oh man, I was about to rewind to see if I could see, and then the guy jumps out.
You're about to be kind?
Yeah, rewind and rewind.
Yeah, there's a misdirect, and also she has walked by the curtain, and then after the fact, you know that the guy was right behind the curtain that she just walked by.
Yeah,
which is a scary idea if you live by yourself. Yeah. Somebody's hiding in a thing.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. That's why when that happened, I was like, oh, this movie's going to be awesome. It's going to be like tons of near misses. And it really wasn't.
No.
They even remark on it. Like they're the psychologist boyfriend's like, he can't get too close. He's always afar. He always looks from afar. Like, I'm like, this sucks. Like he's just always away, like far away. Like, and then like the point being that like he's actually not trying to murder her and these women. He's trying to get them to kill themselves instead.
Yes.
That's an interesting idea, but it's also not compelling to watch for an hour and a half.
No, like you're right. It's the same beat over and over again. And then she goes to the police and the police arrest the wrong guy.
Yeah.
Which could have been, I don't know. It just somehow falls flat. And then at the end, how does he come into her apartment? He's just there, right? She walks into the apartment and he has wired everything so the electricity goes out and he's hiding somewhere.
And he's written a suicide note. And
for her.
He's in for her.
Yes.
And I think he's just waiting for her to kind of lose her mind. And then she ends up baiting him, like being like, this isn't going to work. Like, I know you're in here kind of thing,
Yeah.
She catches on. But I think what would have been more interesting is if when he calls her, he's threatening her with stuff where she has to do something, otherwise, like the idea that like she has to like go to the garage because of this cruise thing. Like that's not like, there's a reason why she never sees him.
I did not.
Because it's not compelling.
Understand. I guess we haven't talked about it. She gets, we did briefly. She starts getting all these letters from this supposed vacation cruise line. It's like, this vacation cruise line has now sent you a telescope. Now they're sending, it doesn't, I didn't understand how that was supposed to work. It was such a dumb scheme that doesn't pay off in any way, really. It's not a misdirect. We know it's fake.
That's what I mean.
She knows it's fake.
Right. And that's the whole thing. I just felt like there was no stakes for her. Like imagine, getting a call and the guy's like, I have your friend Sophie. I need you, you need to do this or they're going to die or something. Like something where she's being forced to do something. And that's more interesting because now the tension's there and you're thinking like, oh, what would I do? But instead it's like she's just like, oh, I wish this guy would stop pestering me. Like that's the extent until she finally like whatever it was. I forget what the turning point was, but where she was just like, I can't do this, or I don't know.
I guess at the end he was going to throw her out the window. I don't think he was relying on her to jump out the window herself.
You don't think so? Like didn't the lady in the opening jump herself?
So they said the woman previously jumped, but I'm assuming that's because he also wrote a quote suicide note for her, threw her out the window, and the police assumed it was a suicide. And he was going to do the same thing.
Yeah, but remember, the windows were broken. The door was locked. The window door to the patio was locked.
Yeah.
She had to break the window to get through, to go out, to fall out the window or to fall off the balcony. So why would he make that so hard to the extent?
I mean, if you're looking for logic, it's just dramatic looking that he would shove somebody through a plate glass window.
Unless he was like, oh, she hasn't. Well, I guess how would she get through the window if she was supposed to kill herself? and she's locked in and all. Yeah, I don't know.
Well, if you're going to be
I guess it makes more sense.
If you're going to be that dramatic about your suicide that you're jumping out your apartment window, you get a big running start and then you barrel through the window closed
like a torpedo.
Yes.
You like you flatten your body and your arms roll close to you and you just headbutt.
Geronimo. Cruel world. But
torpedo.
Instead, they wind up smashing the window, and he's trying to shove Lauren Hutton onto the street, but she grabs a piece of the glass that is stuck in the window, which I have to admit, I didn't understand what she was reaching for because I assumed that it's a piece of the glass that is in the window frame, like it's a jagged piece. But I would assume that in a window, it's not just resting there for you to pluck it out. It's glued in there somehow. But she just reaches up and takes that piece of glass and jams it into this guy's neck.
I kept thinking like, oh, she's going to reach for it and it's going to cut her.
Yeah.
You know, like, and then we're going to see that. Like this scene would have, had a little bit more, would have been more tense if it didn't feel like they just kept looping the footage of her being pushed.
Boy, oh boy. So she reaches for the glass and then she's pushed away. And then she's reaching for that glass. She's pushed away. And she's reaching for the glass. She gets it.
But it's like 4 or 5 times before she actually gets it. Before you,
yes.
And it's three times before you understand that that's what she's trying to do. But it looks cool. The shot looks cool. How she's like, her foot's up against the balcony. Like it was a little hard to figure out exactly the space of the area. But it looked cool how it was like overhead. Of her falling, or
Carpenter knows how to make a low budget effect look pretty good. Oh, we should say that the guy who is wrongfully arrested for stalking her is Len Lesser, who plays Uncle Leo on Seinfeld. It was fun seeing him young, but still looking old.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. That, by the way, that scene where they have her, where they're looking over her as she's being pushed out the window, it reminded me of an exhibit in the Alfred Hitchcock area at Universal Studios, or I can't remember if it was there or MGM Studios, where you get to put yourself in the frame of one of the movies.
Yes, and you're looking down. One of them. Yes.
Yeah, and the camera's above you or whatever. It looks like that's what you would be doing. You'd be sitting there and you're going, hey! You're smiling, going, ah!
If memory serves, I think that was in the MGM Studios backlot tour when you're seeing the making of Bette Midler's The Lottery. That short film that they show you with Bette Midler.
That didn't that win a Pulitzer Prize?
Yes, it was published in a newspaper first. It won a Pulitzer.
Yeah. And there, I had a Nobel as well. I think it was nominated for a Nobel.
Yeah, it did. It did have. It did create peace in the Middle East for a little bit.
Yeah, I just couldn't remember if it was at Universal Studios or MGM because there was like an Alfred Hitchcock thing where you got to play like you're the guy falling, but that's I'll get back to you.
Was that one of those things that has my least favorite premise, which is the host of the show comes out there and is like, well, we need to get started, but our lead actor is missing. Who out there likes the movies? Who out there wants to be in a movie? And they bring a dad to embarrass up. They put him against a green screen. They put him in a hula skirt or something.
This is how you laugh, but that's actually how Tom Cruise was cast in Cocktail.
Oh.
Or I mean in yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
They ran out of the studio and said, our lead actor is missing.
Yeah. Well, it was that was Cocktail, right? Where he does the take those old records off the shelf.
No, that's Risky Business.
Risky Business.
Are you saying he was
That's what
walking
I
around
trying to
with
think of.
he was walking around with no pants? They said, "Hey kid, get in here."
Yeah, and he had a
Matthew Broderick
they said
has
that was
the flu.
scene. They filmed that first. They filmed that scene first of the movie.
Sure.
And yeah, they said, "Kid, get in here." He was like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I'm on my way to
A pants fitting.
priest school." A pants fitting. Wasn't he going to be a priest? Wasn't that
Tom
his story at one
Cruise?
point? Yeah, I think he was like at some point he was like thinking about becoming a priest or something.
Hold on, let me see here. Tom
Look this up.
Cruise priest? I don't know.
Yes, that and I gotta say that's my favorite premise for an attraction, especially as a kid because I am a uncontrollable ham
Sure.
and in the theme park audience business. And you better believe I did my best. I wasn't laughing while I was on camera. I was doing those sounds just perfectly.
What show were you called up for?
I think it was the one. Did they do it with the Earthquake show at Universal? Did they do it for that one?
Oh, probably.
Gosh, I'm getting all. Yeah.
All those old movie theme parks used to just drag people on stage before you got on the ride and showed you how to. They all showed you how a green screen worked. Everybody there was a licensed green screen technician. By the time they left the park, they'd seen so many people demonstrating it. Okay, Tom Cruise was training to become a Catholic priest. However, Cruise left his training when he was caught stealing from his school.
Oh no.
He was attending a Franciscan seminary in Cincinnati, Ohio.
See, that's what happened. He stole a broom. On the way they kicked him out, and he had this broom while he was walking by the set for Risky Business. And they're like, "Kid, Matthew Broderick is sick," like he said. "Get out here and play the guitar on this broom."
He has a broom. No, he doesn't have a broom.
Does he have a broom in that?
I believe he has a trophy.
Oh wait,
in
you
his
know what?
hand?
I think I'm thinking of the Saved by the Bell parody
Oh my god.
of this.
Oh Lord. Is this a Zach Morris or is this Slater?
It's Slater, Zach, and Screech. They're at Screech's house. The parents are away. He's not supposed to have a party, but he does. He has his friends over. The girls show up. A couple nerds show up. They start betting on poker, and they lose their mom's dog named Hound Dog because they are fans of Elvis. And they have to get the dog back before the parents come home.
Sure.
Lots of stuff going on in this episode.
Yeah, a lot of twists and turns. And of course, Old Time Rock and Roll, my favorite Elvis song.
Yeah, absolutely.
Really worked out.
You love to take records
Off the shelf?
off a shelf, don't you? Yeah,
Don't
you
put them on the shelf. I want them.
That's your problem. You're like, I've got books on these shelves. I don't need records.
No, just
here."
don't take me to a disco. That'll never get me
Yeah.
out on the flow.
Hey,
That's maybe one of
The,
my least favorite songs of all time, by the way, is Old Time Rock and Roll. Because the message of the song
sings
is
that?
don't listen to anything new. Everything new sucks. Just listen to whatever you heard in high school. It's every dumbass I've ever met in my life.
is that
sings
George
Old Time-
Thorogood or something?
Oh, who sings that? It's Seeger.
Just take those old records.
Bob
Who?
Seger.
Seger.
Ugh.
Seagy.
Can't
You know,
take Bob Seger.
I love those rides. I'll never forget the
This
the one where
conversation's
you are
really
hanging.
ratcheting back
Yes.
and forth.
Yeah, I'm back on these rides. I really want this to be a companion piece to podcast the ride. No, you're on the merry-go-round. You're being swung around, and then someone has a foot that they're pushing with a stick to knock you off from that famous Alfred Hitchcock movie where someone is hanging off a merry-go-round.
I'm sorry, what are you talking about? That's on
This
the Alfred
movie.
Hitchcock?
What is that movie?
I
Yeah, the Alfred Hitchcock Experience.
don't think it was called that.
It was. The all new Alfred Hitchcock experience.
Strangers on a Train.
Yeah, is that it?
It's the one with the merry-go-round. I didn't know that they
Yeah.
So they put somebody on a green screen and they recreated that scene and they had a foot on a stick and they were trying to kick the guy. Is that what happens?
Yeah. And it looks so funny because when you're doing it, the foot's like just twisting. So it looks like at one point the foot's upside down when you're watching the video playback because whoever's doing it is just like twisting and pushing and and you're trying not to actually hit whoever's hanging on.
Sure.
Those were so fun.
Yeah.
Those were so fun, and you hate those.
I didn't hate it. I got called into stage for was it Superstar Television, where you got green screened into famous TV shows, and I played the millionaire from Gilligan's Island.
Oh my gosh, you probably just rocked it.
I mean, I almost got
or
yeah.
Wait, or were you up there going?
No, of
Mom
course
and Dad,
not.
Why'd you bring me on this? Like they pushed you up there.
Oh, Nathan, what do you think? How much encouragement do you think I needed at 13? When they said, "Are there any volunteers who want to be on TV today?" I was like, "Maestro, if you please." There's no business like show business.
It's a hard knock life.
I gave them my headshot. I said I can do some stage fighting in accents of all kinds.
Yeah. Did you tell them you prefer to do the song in D major?
Yes, I gave them my scale.
You said accents of all kinds, but mostly of minorities.
I said whenever what's his name dies, I'm going to take over for Apu.
Apu?
Yeah.
Oh.
When Harry Shearer kicks the bucket, I'm taking over for Apu and Carl and all the other characters on The Simpsons.
All the others.
And all the others.
Yeah. So, yeah, this movie.
So, someone's watching me. We really were eager to get into a play-by-play. Someone's watching me.
Wait, it's somebody.
No. Someone's.
It's somebody's watching me. Okay, hold on.
Look it up. Look it up, bitch.
No, look, I just looked it up. Somebody's watching me. 1978. Oh, there's someone. What? Why have I been so misled?
Because you're thinking, I always feel like somebody's watching me.
I seriously kept thinking, man, it sucks to try and find this movie because that dumb song is at the top of the list of every Google search.
I did the same thing. I could not for the life of me remember that it was someone's watching me. Because why would you name your movie that when it could be somebody's watching me? Someone's watching me is not a good title. Somebody's watching me is an okay title.
Yeah. Now, the guy who plays the Herbert Styles is the killer, right?
I believe so.
Is that guy anyone? George
He's a nobody.
Scaff.
He's a nobody.
He's a big fat nobody.
He died a nobody.
I guess. Let's see.
I always feel like
no, nothing.
Watching me.
Now that how much did Michael Jackson? How much was he involved in that? Just the chorus?
Yeah.
Or did he write it too? Wait,
doesn't it sound like he wrote it? It really sounds like he has a hand in it, doesn't it? Because it sounds like such a companion
also, it
to
sounds
Thriller.
like someone. Yeah,
I think.
So you think this
was
a throwaway?
Yes, because I think I listened to that whole album, and that's the only good song. It's like the Jackson 5 Victory album, and the only good song is "Can You Feel It," which Michael Jackson wrote. God, you can. Yeah, everyone listening, you can tell when we don't care about digging too deep into a special because we will start talking about theme parks and Michael Jackson instantly.
Anything else? Anything else?
But mostly those two things.
Yeah, it is a pretty common thread.
It's really common.
What is the...
Why? Because you're the only person I know who wants to talk about those things as much as me. I have no one else in life who thinks about these things just sitting at work all the time.
I have another Michael Jackson friend.
But
I've been cheating on you.
That's fine.
But you're right.
Me too.
Like, I think
me too. Jeremy likes Michael Jackson.
Nice try, hotshot.
I think you and my wife are the people who I go to for all of my theme park needs. But I go to you for the nerdy stuff, and to her just for the nostalgic stuff.
Sure. So for good feelings, you go to your wife. For a technical dissection.
How many times did you go to Disney when you were a kid?
Well, every other year we went down to visit my parents' parents in Florida. And it was...
Wait. Your parents' parents. That's what you called them. Did you call your grandpa your dad?
When I saw them, I would say, "Mother's mother, father's father." Have you brought me boiled sweets?
Boiled sweets. What's a boiled sweet? Okay, what is a boiled sweet?
Like hard candies.
Okay. Can you imagine if we still called them boiled sweets?
I think they do in England. I think they call them boiled sweeties.
No, they don't say boiled.
Yeah.
They do say sweets.
I'm not kidding. I've heard people say boiled sweets in BBC shows.
Better be careful, boys. You guys are treading on some pretty racist grounds right now.
It's like how they call sprinkles hundreds and thousands.
Yes, I know that they say hilarious
Do you know what they call
stuff
trucks?
all the time. What?
They call them Larrys.
I know. Wait, Lori, right?
Yes.
Wait, hold on. What?
I'm
Okay,
just
all right.
being dumb.
I know they say lolly
Mm-hmm.
instead of sucker.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Anyways, I want to get into English entomology. But no. So you would go down to Florida.
Yeah.
And then so you would always go to Disney whenever you'd visit your parents'
So
your pop.
normally what would happen when I saw my mother's mother and my father's father is and of course their spouses.
Yeah.
My parents would say, "We're not going to go this year." And then by the end of it, my parents were so like stir crazy after being with their parents for so long that they were like, "We're going to Disney." They just drive there. And I know if I kept my mouth shut, my chances were pretty good. So not every time, but it was okay. It was always a hope. It was always a little hope in the back of my brain.
But you did go a lot of times then. Okay.
I got lucky for the amount of times I got to go. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, same here. Anyways, I just was wondering, like, is your love of the Disney theme parks based on your want to have, the amount of like research you did as a kid because you wanted to go, or because you actually did go a lot and so you were able to pull from that?
It was just going to a created universe, and it was, it was so complete, and those kind of things exist more now, and they just didn't then. So going there was just, I loved it. I loved building stuff. I loved everything about it. I loved old movies. So when they made MGM Studios, I was validation. I can see Footlight Parade. I can see robots reenacting Footlight Parade while I go by on a boat. So somebody's watching
me. You were
me.
like super cool in high school, right?
You know, I reinvented myself in high school and I kept all that stuff on deep background. That's the great thing about going from
1978.
Yes, from homeschool to public school is people didn't know you in your past. Oh, what a gift.
He was always the coolest guy to me.
Yeah.
That's why the first day of high school, I slid in, no pants, had a trophy in my hand.
Yeah.
Singing that Bob Seger.
And you said, and you just had a tie wrapped around your head.
Mm-hmm.
And you said, "Hey, Principal Skinner, eat my dust, man." And everyone loved you for the rest of your life there.
That's right. So should people watch this? Yeah,
sure. I mean, I don't know. Skip it. I don't think you have to watch this one. It's interesting. I don't know, like if you're a John Carpenter buff, you might see something in it and be like, "Oh yeah, that's a John Carpenterism or something." It certainly won't be the music, but I don't know.
It's just another. If you took away the fact that John Carpenter directed it, it would be another woman in peril movie. And boy, are there a lot of woman in peril movies on the TV movie roster. So good.
Well,
on him.
they just want to be saved. Women just want to be saved. Right. That's why they love these kinds of movies.
So I'm glad Halloween was made. I'm glad it was a hit and we got other stuff from him. But I think unless you are a diehard completist, you don't need to check this out. Yeah, that's it, right? I don't think I have any new Michael Jackson news. We can talk about the 50th anniversary celebration of Magic Kingdom, of course, when the microphones go off and our Patreon starts. Not really.
And don't forget, everybody. Don't forget to give out lots and lots of Tootsie Rolls to your trick-or-treaters if you haven't already passed. If trick-or-treating hasn't already passed by the time this airs.
Good note. And don't forget to give out 5-star reviews to us wherever you listen to podcasts. Yes. I want to see them. I
prefer the fruit-flavored ones.
I want to see those Starbucks, not the coffee kind. I want the little star buckaroonies that go into my bank account every time somebody leaves a 5-star review for us. So get out there and spread the good news of Network Special.
You also get money. If you give us a 5-star review from Apple.
Now we actually may be getting into weird legal territory.
I can't promise that Apple will pay people for 5-star reviews of our podcast.
There we go. Producer Jeremy, any closing thoughts you want to give us on our way out? Any words of wisdom as we end this at 11 p.m. at night?
Trick or treat.
Oh.
Smell my feet. Give us 5-star reviews to read. To read.
Nice.
Good afternoon.
Yes.
From Medea's mouth to God's ears.
Yes.
All right, everyone. We love you. Have a good Halloween if you haven't already. We'll see you next week. Goodbye.
Bye.